Alright, Summoners, this is MP Blaze of NewN. Today's war is War 8, and we are facing off against KenOB for the second time this season. I've been with NewN for 4 seasons, and we've played them 7 times in those 4 seasons. We played them the first war this season, and we lost. Alright, so this war, BG1 has Protect. I'm going in with G99, Quake, and Guardian. Guardian for the synergy because I'm on boss duty. We do have an Apocalypse boss, and I usually clear him or solo him with G99 ramped up. And then everything else is going to be Quaked. Taking paths 5 in section 1 and path 3 in section 2. Okay, so right off the bat, this war is going to get interesting for me. I have the brilliant idea that I can probably ramp my G99 off this Maw on Ebb and Flow knockdown with Heavy Hitter. 2 things I was thinking going into this fight that made me think it would work. 1, I thought the white Magneto pre-fight was going to allow me to stun his medium hit, which it doesn't. And 2, I was dead set on waiting for 5% to throw my SP3 and lock in the soul. You're going to realize very quickly why both of those didn't work. So, throwing a parry on his mediums, they're not landing. Start noticing that the white Magneto pre-fight is actually going to only stick when I can actually parry, which makes sense, and I actually somewhat knew that going in because it works the same on Domino, which I've seen before. Second thing you're going to notice is that I'm only heavying and not retaliating both his medium hits or his special 1 with combos. Just mentally, I was really focused on trying to make sure I never reach a falter or he never reaches placing a falter on me, also so that I never had to deal with Ebb and Flow knockdown and always had the Fury. You're going to see very quickly why that's not a good idea, because it's eventually going to lead to me being cornered due to him throwing mediums and then throwing his heavy. Now, this special 3, what should have happened here is that when I used this, I should have known that with Ebb and Flow knockdown on cooldown, that I would have done more than 5% with my SP3. But you'll see at the end of the video, that did not click because I definitely don't throw it. Like I said, I was waiting for the 5% period. All in all, this was a pretty frustrating and embarrassing fight to watch over and over afterwards. It's gonna start getting really bad here when I'm trying to reparry and he's just not letting it happen, or I'm missing it, and then we're just cornered. So the frustration's starting to set in here. Again, I'm still throwing the heavies and not retaliating special 1 or medium. For the same reason I thought I was trying to avoid falter and Ebb and Flow knockdown. It's just not a normal fight for me. I didn't have a very good game plan going in. I should be absolutely roasted later for this fight. And I probably will do something like that in the off season where I get roasted for dumb fights. It looks like I'm still keeping it alive. He's at half health. I'm doing pretty good just maintaining blocks against the wall and trying to land a reparry. Getting the heavy off still. Keeping the Fury from the Ebb and Flow knockdown. All in all, it's just a very frustrating fight. You'll see I have the special 3 ready. Just hoping to get him in that 5% range, which I didn't need to do. Here I'm still pretty mentally calm, thinking I can do this, I got it, just keep reparrying off the wall. Here he's starting to get low, and if we remember earlier from that first SP3, if I throw it at the right percentage, he'll probably die with Ebb and Flow knockdown on cooldown. But so right about, I think it's this next set of hits, I could have probably thrown it and been all right. Yep, right there. And I didn't throw it. I was dead set on that 5%. And this is where things start getting a little panicky. regen kicked in, so another lifesaver. Maybe I can land a heavy. He's still doing the medium, and I just heavy hitter. Forgot about it. Right at the end. Panicked, we start forgetting about it, and then we eat SP1 and we die. And now Maw's not in a good range to gain a soul, and I'm extremely frustrated, mostly at myself, all at myself for the stupid play and the stupid game plan. So we go in and we finish it with Quake. Easy Quake and Shake while I still have 1 hour boosts on. I'm thankful that I did only use 1 hour boosts, so that after this I can heal G99 without using too many items. Which is a good thing, because I have quite a few fights left in this war. Yeah, there was a second time in that I could have used SV3 with G99 and ramped her. But yeah, don't do what I did. Okay, so after that embarrassing fight, while I still have 1 hour boosts on, I decided to go ahead and Quake this Green Goblin so that we can get one of our boss rushers moving to burn some energy. And nothing special here, it's just a Quake and Shake fight. There could have been any other option here, but since I was already headed here with Quake and it's a pretty easy fight, I just went ahead and took it. I will end up having, I think, a total of 8 fights. It was 2 path, 4 path fights, 1 mini boss in the middle mini, and 2 mini bosses on Boss Island, and then the boss. So quaking and avoiding item use is going to be a pretty good idea, especially after dying with G99 already. Nothing to this fight, really. Just Quake and Shake. Don't drop the heavy if you can. I did drop the heavy once, but as long as I don't push him to 1 bar of power, we're good. And that ends that. Moving right along to Quake and Bake against Kingpin on Power Snack node. I have healed G99, so now we're going to slap on the 6 hour boost to cover us the rest of the war. And just like my last video, Quake and Baking Kingpin here isn't that bad, at least for me. You will notice compared to the last Kingpin Quake and Bake fight that I don't take near as much block damage. There are 2 factors that play into that. One is having the Guardian synergy and upping block proficiency. The other is that I actually land more parries than blocked hits in this fight compared to the last one. I had flushed the memory of that previous death out of my mind so that I could focus on the rest of the war, especially since I'm going to be quaking a Taskmaster on a mini node. So it was just time to focus. It's about to hit that 50% mark and gain that health back, which makes this fight longer than you would like with a quick fight. But again, no big deal with Quake and Bake. When the champion you're Quake and Baking has a single hit heavy, makes it easy to just recharge that heavy, dodge it, and throw that heavy right back down. Or even, well, we're not dexing here. We don't want to for power snack, but reapplying the heavy in this scenario. Coming up almost on 2.5 minutes soon. Those are usually the longer Quake fights. Landing all the parries well, not losing much health here. I used to take this with a combat regen the first few times. Once I realized I didn't need it, I went ahead and stopped using it. And this should be the last set of Aftershock. And he goes down. Easy peasy, not too bad. Now there was a path change in section 2 because I died to Maw. I need to ramp my G99, so I'm headed to this Venom here on path 3. Just waiting for an alliance mate to hit that split node so that I can use energy appropriately and we can take out Boss Island in a timely manner. And here we go. Second attempt at ramping up G99. Hopefully it goes a lot better than Maw. It can't go a lot worse besides getting hit right at the start and dying. Not much to worry about here. Venom, as long as he plays nice with his specials, he's not too bad. It's the SP2 that you just have to set yourself up in a good situation to dodge if he ends up having it. And by that I mean not ending with a 5-hit combo and then dashing back immediately when he has a special 2 in case he decides to throw it and you're just caught at the end of the decks. So what I like to do is usually, if I have to push him to special 2, is back off or stop my combo short and get ready to start baiting. That way I'm in a good position, ready to either block it or dodge it. And Venom's can be tricky. If you dodge it too soon, he ends up catching you. Kind of want to dex right as he lands. I think in this video we don't ever deal with his special 2. He did play nice the entire fight and throws special 1 either immediately or within trying to bait it the first few times. So that was nice. When I do take this node against a Cosmic, like Hemdall or Venom, I usually do throw in that special 2 at least once. I really just feel it out. If I have SP2 and I notice that the champion has enough health, I'll build to just about my SP3 and then throw it so that I can up the damage and end the fight a little bit faster than if I were to just hold SP3 the whole time. Just adding combos or hits to G99's combo meter in hopes of maybe increasing her damage near the end of the fight. Now here it is going to be important for me to make sure at the 5% mark that I throw SP3 so that I do get the soul from Venom. And we don't have any prior SP3 hit during this fight to see if I can throw it sooner. And we got him right there. We were ramped, we're at 102, so G99 was just about ramped at the end of this fight, and there it is. She's got her soul and ready for the Apoco boss. Moving on to the second node of Path 3, it's just a Magik. It's an easy Quake and Shake fight. Heal up Quake to full, just in case. I do believe she catches me with one random hit right at the start, right before we're going to get to the wall, but the Aftershock hits right after the hit. Oh no, I dropped the heavy, that's what it is. She swings, misses, and I drop the heavy, and then I take a hit. And then that'll be it for the rest of the fight. It's just a Quake and Shake fight. Benefits the quaking and shaking in Magik is that you don't have to deal with limbo or MD, so you avoid taking the needless damage of limbo. And that's really about it. She's in Mystic and I'm heavily boosted. She's gonna go down quick. Not too long of a fight at all. After that, I'm moving to my boss island minis. I do have Hulk, which I'm gonna Quake, and Taskmaster, which I'm gonna take Quake. Both of which I decided to put suicides on, half suicides, just to up the damage. Now, Hulk here, he is on power focus 1, so I do decide to Quake and bake this fight so that I don't drop the heavy and push him to SP1 and have to deal with trying to dodge that or bait it out of the corner. Instead of my usual Quake and Bake, where I try to Quake and Bake while he's concussed still after Aftershock, I decide to Dex and wait for the long concussion to fall and then go back to Quake and Bake. So you'll see it right there. Long concussion, I'm Dexting. Now he backed off, I'm gonna start baking. Decided to play passive, didn't come in right away. Long concussion gone, he comes in, bake. Rinse and repeat. The power focus 1 being against the wall and the fact that SP1 is unblockable on this node means that I definitely don't want to accidentally drop those heavies and push him to SP1. So it's better to play it safe. Suicides help end this fight quicker than it would. I think we're going to end shy of 2 minutes or right on it. This next Aftershock should take care of him. And that's that. Moving on to Taskmaster. Alright, so Quaking Taskmaster is probably one of my least favorite Quake fights, and in this video you're going to see why. I slap on an invulnerability boost just in case he decides to throw his heavy during the fight, which even after he throws it, I'm gonna be kind of screwed because he does place concussion with the exploit weakness heavy hit. And the reason getting hit with that heavy is such a big deal, or him even throwing it is such a big deal, is because as soon as he goes to throw it, if I'm charging the heavy, my evade will fail due to his exploit weakness heavy. So the goal here is don't be too slow and don't drop your heavy. Otherwise, we're gonna end up with a Taskmaster that charges his heavy and then bam, hits you. So the fight's going pretty well. Again, half suicides here. You do see I drop a heavy, but that is because of something that I noticed the reason I actually don't like quaking Taskmaster for long fights, and you saw it there as well. He whiffs, quote unquote whiffs. Against the wall, you would think every swing from the champion is going to cause you to either evade or you're going to dext it. Well, when Taskmaster throws his shield down, and he did it there too, he whiffs sometimes, where he's not close enough somehow, and the hit just misses. And if you're just going purely off animation and in your rotation for Quake and Shake, then you're gonna end up just dropping your heavy, which can be an issue because if he gets a bar of power, then you have to deal with that SP1 against the wall. But luckily I dueled a lot here. I really focused during this fight to make sure that the shield was going through Quake's body instead of landing just short of her. So he actually does the whiff 4 times in this fight, and I managed to keep my heavy charging 3 of the 4 times. So here it is. We're almost at that last aftershock. It lands. He's stun immune because of his abilities. Looks like we got 1% left. And then the last aftershock hits and he's done. So we got through the fight. I was really worried about that one before coming to a Paco. All right, so time for a Paco boss. I've taken Apocalypse boss pretty much anytime he's been in BG1 with G99 and the Guardian synergy so that I can eat some special block damage and not hit her regen at the end. So the goal here is to push him just shy of SP2. And then when I get him there, I'm going to back off and bait out SP1 and only take 2 block hits from his beam attack. So bait it here, block 2, and dodge the 3rd. And then rinse and repeat. I'm gonna end combo short right into a block so that I encourage him not to throw the SP1 until I want him to. And hopefully he throws a heavy for the opening. Or he does a full combo and I retaliate the full combo. Sometimes I intercept him because he backs off right away and then I can tell he's gonna come in and I intercept him. But that's pretty much the name of the game. I don't like pushing him to special 2 and blocking the special 2. In AQ, I do just push him to special 2 and dodge his entire SP2. It's just a little risky in war, and if I can manage G99 Guardian synergy for the boss and just do this the whole way, then might as well do it. But that's all you're gonna see here. Nothing too flashy besides a few intercepts here and there. It's just part of me feeling out the AI and getting comfortable and then going right in. I will throw SP2 instead of SP1 because SP2 doesn't trigger the Protect Global, but for some reason SP1 does. Otherwise it'd be really nice to just power drain him and keep him from throwing any specials at any point. But it's still a pretty straightforward fight. I do interrupt his heavy. I don't wait for both to swing. That way I don't end up cornered trying to bait SP1s if he gets too stubborn. Let's see, we're getting here 78 hits into it. And he's pretty much gonna go down within the next 30 seconds. Throwing the SP2. Here it comes, the last few hits. Last baited SP1 and we never hit the regen, so we didn't have to rely on it, and he's done. And that'll end war for me. That death to Maw was the second death for me for the season. And it hurts because we had 3 deaths in our BG, but we ended up tying KenOB, so it hurts even more. So it's our 3rd technical loss on the season. We did tie SAS, and we lost to KenOB, the first war. I don't know if top 3 is still on the table. We are 2 losses away from the first place spot, so we'll see. It all depends on what happens above us. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you want to get updates about the next video, but I'll see you at the next one.